And you?
Hey, people. Today we have a new interview. It's a friend of mine from England. He's going to have a different accent, although he knows the American English very well. So he will be free to use the accent that he thinks it fits better for this podcast. I met him in Haiti some years ago, and he is a blessing in my life. I just like to talk with him and learn a little bit more about his language. You know, we are all in the process of learning. So here you go. How are you, Mr. Roger Abbot?
Hi there, and hello to your students. It's great to see you again, Evaristo. I've never forgotten our meetings in Haiti back in 2010, if I remember correctly. 2010, 2011. That's a long time ago. Yeah. I have been working for an organization, a research organization called the Faraday Institute for Science and Religion. It's based in Cambridge in the United Kingdom. And my brief there has been to research so-called natural disasters. So they very kindly agreed for me to return to Haiti, because ever since I met you in Haiti, and we were both working there after the 2010 catastrophic earthquake, I came away from Haiti at that time, desperately hoping I could go back to do some research. And what I wanted to look at in particular were, because Haiti is predominantly a Christian in a broad sense country. In fact, it's hard not to be associated with Christianity in Haiti in some shape or form. I wanted to explore what it was about the Haitian people for whom I had got a huge admiration in the brief time I was there, what it was about those people, about their beliefs, their Christian beliefs in particular, that was responsible for the kind of resilience, if one may use that word, or courage, strength that they seem to have. That's how they seem to come across to me, given that they had experienced not just the earthquake, you remember, but then the cholera. And we were there, of course, when cholera was at its worst. And to just listen to people who had already been either injured by the earthquake or had lost their property or lost loved ones in the earthquake, but had survived, to then be afflicted with this terrible disease of cholera, which seems so needless. It's a disease that was so easily treatable if it was caught in time. But having been assaulted, if you like, by these two devastations, what was it about their relationship with God, their religion, their faith, that helped sustain them through those times? So you can imagine what a great pleasure it was to be able to be paid to go back there, and to again, and my particular methodology was to use interviews. So I went around to various sites in Haiti, some, if not all, you will probably be aware of yourself. Port-au-Prince, of course, was one of them, and Cité Soleil, that infamous violent slum as it was so often portrayed to us.
Yeah.
That was one location, Petit Goave and Léogane, and then up into the mountains as well. And I listened to I recorded about, I don't know what it is now, 160, 170 interviews.
Wow.
From people in different locations, in different, each of those locations had their own culture, if you like.
Yeah.
So to listen to them and then to transcribe all of those hours of interview, you know how it is,
Yes.
and then to put that together was a huge privilege. And by the grace of God, by 2019, that's how long it takes, we published a book.
Go. Yeah.
That book is entitled, because I know you'll all want to rush and buy it now.
Okay.
It's, I can show you a picture of it, I think, if I can find it, which is probably not going to be an easy one. Here it is. Can you see that?
Okay.
Or is it upside down?
From the Haiti earthquake. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Great book.
So that is based on the research that I did there. And but after Haiti, I moved to New Orleans because in 2015, that was the 10th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina.
Yes.
So I spent another 3 years looking at that. At the same time, also I went to the Philippines. Well, not exactly at the same time, but during that period, I went to the Philippines, to a little island there that had been very badly hit by the super typhoon, Yolanda or Haiyan, that went through there in November 2013. 2014, sorry. So, and basically in both of those locations, New Orleans and in the Philippines, I was doing similar things, but looking at the way their faith relationships influenced their relationship with God, their relationship with their community, and their relationship with the natural environment. Okay. Because in both those occasions, both those locations, environmental issues had a huge amount to do with what happened to them. In fact, you could say that was true of Haiti as well. Environmental factors which were very much human factors as well. So this has become quite a passion for me, a passionate message now, that there are no such things as natural disasters. They are human disasters.
Wow.
And you will be so aware of that from Haiti, of course, because although the earthquake was natural, earthquakes don't have to kill. Okay. You know, with the right building standards, with the right wisdom to know where to live, how to construct, and so on and so forth. These natural hazards, as we call them, are survivable. They do not have to kill. But the reason that they do kill is so often down to very basic human failures. Okay. Sometimes deliberate, in the case of corruption, for instance, whether it's political corruption or commercial corruption. Sometimes down to ignorance, failure to learn, or sometimes just not having access to learning. Okay. again, going back to Haiti, but also in New Orleans and in the Philippines, so many people are able to get through primary education.
Okay.
But then there's a massive fall off when it comes to secondary education.
That's true.
And then there's another fall off when it comes to higher education.
Yeah, that's right.
And even those that reach higher education, 84% of those who gained degrees in Haiti left the country.
Okay, yeah.
So you have a big, what we call here in the UK, a brain drain, a loss.
Drain.
That's right. A loss of intellectual caliber for governing the country and for the essential services that a country needs to function healthily.
Yeah.
So in all of these countries, there was that problem, and uncomfortably though it can be to take it on board, in theological terms, if you like, this comes down to human sin.
Okay, human sin.
And the failure really to acknowledge that we are not the brilliant people that we always think we are. We're not capable of fixing everything that we think we can fix or would like to fix. And therefore, again, I suppose speaking as a Christian, that loss of wisdom that we could have, that is accessible to us as a gift of God's grace, if only we seek for it and ask for it.
Okay.
But human nature being what it is, of course, that is a big ask.
Yeah. That's
and
true.
one we're often reluctant not to take.
Yeah.
But it's been a huge privilege. I'm working currently on a project, believe it or not, about the pandemic.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
That's something we will, no matter what country you go to, everybody will be aware of the pandemic at the moment.
That's true.
So this has been a great experience for me. It's been wonderful to be working out of the University of Cambridge, with the access to expertise and knowledge which one is able to have here. And I love the work I do. It takes me to some beautiful places, but places where horrible things, of course, have happened. And above all, I think I appreciate the willingness of people who have gone through the most terrible things in their lives that they could experience, their willingness to share those with me, a stranger, both culturally and ethnically, racially, if you like, and to share these with me, as so many of these people have done.
Okay.
Great privilege.
Yeah. Mr. Roger. Now it's Dr. Roger. I guess you finished your doctorate, didn't you?
Oh, yes. I finished that just after I came back from Haiti, in fact.
Okay, great. Just to end our interview with your final thoughts, do you think that the human race has the capacity of change itself to be a better place to live, more where you have honesty, you have the characteristic that we need to live a better life, that is more how to say, you have more justice, and Do you think that humankind can change to that level, even in the next 200 or 500 years? Do you think that the human race can change?
You want my honest opinion?
Yes, please.
I think human beings are capable, whatever their faith or no faith, I think human beings are capable of achieving immense things, huge things. But usually those things have the capacity for achieving great good. Take nuclear power, for instance. Okay. Take civil engineering, what it's capable of achieving. Take science, medical science. See how quickly it put together, the global medical world put together those vaccines that nobody thought could ever be put together within 2 years, let alone within a matter of months. So there you have examples of human nature's ability. But, and here's the big but, those same things and that same ability has the capacity to commit horrendous evils and cruelty and suffering and pride. And so my quick answer to your question is no, I don't. I look at the work of the United Nations, the World Health Organization, and all these other essentially secular organizations to try and make this world a better place. And they've all failed. They've all achieved good up to a point, but at the end, they've all failed in their ideal task. The only way that human nature can achieve the kind of things you've asked is if human nature changes. And my own personal position on that is the only way that human nature will change is if we humble ourselves and ask God, who created us, to change us and to change that human nature.
Yeah. Newborn.
That's right.
That's the
absolutely.
That's the metanoia. That's the big issue. That's the big
repentance and trust in God's Son Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Is my answer. Yeah.
Roger, has been a pleasure to interview you. We're gonna finish here. Thank you.
Thank you.
And after the recording, if you have a little time, we can still talk just a little bit, okay?
Sure.
All right.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Bye-bye now, then.